Hi, hello, namaste, vanakkam, swagata, suswagata to Kaapi and Conversation with me here, Meera. Meera V. Bharat, your host, the Dino in Oasis or Meera's Oasis, I'm known as. It's always a pleasure. It's not only, while sipping a coffee or a Kaapi for that matter, also having an aromatic discussion with our guests. So much they have got to share. I mean, in the last 20 plus episodes, so many people I spoke to, what an opportunity to connect with, to understand their journey, to understand what they're doing, why they're doing, and how they are doing. And there is something which I feel that is a common element or a weave that runs through all the rather the thread that runs through all the weave for that matter. It is called the purpose or a vision. Not many would straight away say this is my purpose, or not many would say, would define purpose or a vision, but it is their work that brings them closer and makes them do what they're doing, why they're doing, and how they're doing. So, without taking much of your time, thank you, my dear listeners and the viewers who stop by and listen to Kapi and Conversations Connect. I am here, a culmination of wishes and blessings by the people around me and all of you. Thanks for always stopping by. Excited to invite today's guest, Ms. Ishani Goyal, who is the founder of Legal Thirst. Hi, Ishani. Welcome to Kapi and Conversation. It's my pleasure to talk to you and have you in this show.
Hi, Meera. Thanks for inviting me. And also, it's a wonderful platform. I just went all your discussions that you have just told me about your platform. It's just wonderful knowing that you have connected with so many people and you are so motivating. Your voice, I love your voice first.
Thank
It's
you.
so soothing. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. I'm just feeling shy. Okay. All right. All right. Ishani, I know, I mean, you are a lawyer by profession, and I came across Ishani just to add this bit. How did I meet Ishani for that matter? Through my cohort, where we have, we are in the process of getting incubated. And I came across Ishani. I had quite a few doubts with regards to my company. How do I go about it? What do I do next? Yes. I run this company called Maya Katha Hub, a community to connect, collaborate, and grow. Connect, collaborate, learn, and grow. Yes, this is the way I keep telling. And when so many things were happening, I had lots of doubts with regards to the legal part or the statutory part, or the basic finance part. What should be done when I start a company, or what should I do? I've already started my organization, or I'm already on my own. When do I get it incorporated? How do I talk about startup? What are the basic legal things that many of us have been missing out? These are the things, at 40, I'm probably, I would say at 40, I started exploring and knowing about these things, because when I was, in my corporate career, things were taken care. So we just give them the documents, we just produce the bills, and it's done, and we keep moving. But when we do things on our own, where it is all about rolling up our sleeves and getting onto the ground level, because we can't say I'm a founder, I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, if whatever role we are, if we have an organization, we have to get at all the level to get things done. So with that thought is what I started Maya Katha, and so many doubts, and she's just a message or a call away to help me out. And that's when we thought, why not have her in our show where she can talk about various things related to legal aspects. Ishani, would you add to that? Because school mein kya hota
Yeah,
hai na, we
surely.
have this as a bilingual definitely, because copy and conversation is about the comfort of the language that we speak, and bilingual is what typically in India most of us we prefer talking. So school mein ye
Exactly.
legal aspects, your statutory aspects, we actually get to know about statutory compliance, filing of the returns, and all these stuff, or rather all these aspects, let me say, when we take up our job, during the Jan to Feb, we'll be running pillar to pole to get the filing done, or in the month of June, July, we will be there, to talk about kya produce karenge, kya karenge, hai na? So I
Yeah,
would want
exactly.
to learn these things, Ishani.
Yeah, what happens is that when we are in school, we like our teachers and everybody around us want us to be prepared for the jobs and all these things. but they never told you the basic stuff like the interview, how to prepare for the interviews. Like it's the most important part in the job nowadays. In the similar scenario, when we start a startup, we just know that idea, that the wonderful idea we have in our head, but we don't
Yeah.
know that how to go with that idea ahead, how to establish a company, how to manage our teams, how to prepare a website, how to just go with these things. So then it got too complicated that that wonderful idea just go in vain, and we can't just build a beautiful company. We can't build a unicorn out of that. So when I started, I from a family of lawyers, and my father and mother are also lawyers. So, but I feel that people nowadays don't want a lawyer who is not easily accessible. As you said, the lawyer should be always a phone call away so that you
Yeah.
can easily reach him out for your any queries and all. Because law is in every aspect. You find law in every field, in every arena. So lawyer should be a person who is aware about even social things, even political spheres and all. So that's my mindset over that.
एब्सोल्युटली आई मीन एक कहावत भी होता है ना मैं डॉक्टर के पास और लॉयर के पास कोई भी चीज हमें छिपाना नहीं होता है so
Exactly.
है ना I mean it just
Exactly.
it might be on a lighter note Ishani but that's the truth अगर देखो अगर we are something we are on our business there is something which we miss doing we seek a lawyer's support at that time to ask how do we get over this but if we are always in touch with a lawyer or with the auditor or with doctor for that matter from the beginning stage of whatever we are doing or whatever we are experiencing I mean expiry date to हर एक चीज की है लेकिन at least there could be some value that we can add so absolutely, lawyers are something we all should definitely talk to when we're doing. Okay, let me ask you a question. I'm sure this
Yeah,
would help
sure.
many of our listeners. So, Ishani, in your experience, what are some of the most common legal or rather professional challenges that startups face in their early stages? And briefly, if you can add, how can they navigate these obstacles?
Yeah. Firstly, like when we talk about the legal challenges that the startups used to face, is that when we start a small idea, when we start with it, we don't really need the legal compliances to be done because firstly, we need to focus on the revenue model of our company first. When
Okay.
we are focusing on our revenue model, then a bit by bit, when it goes up and we started getting money of it, so then we
Yeah.
need the GST things and all. So then it started like we started firstly with a sole proprietorship things, and then we can there are so many government compliances nowadays, and there are so many certifications which are free out like Udyam registration is there, which is just
Yeah.
take hardly 20 minutes for any entrepreneur to fill out the form. There is no government fee for it. So just startups need to start with the legal compliances which do not provide them a burden on their like daily spheres. Because if you are going without profit things and you are just burning out money on the professional services and all, then that can be challenging for you. So you should like be little aware about some legal certifications and things which like you can navigate to the MSME toolkits that the government nowadays is providing.
Hmm.
And Government of India also have few sessions with the small entrepreneurs where they just make them learn about the small certifications, and it is on like DIY model where do it
Okay.
yourself. You can
Yeah.
do the form filling and all this stuff yourself. There is no digital signatures required. There are like they hardly takes 10 to 15 minutes. So these are the legal compliances which is very good to start with. You will get a legal registration as well, and you will not get burdened out of it. So that is something which can navigate you through these obstacles.
Wonderful. I mean, I can relate to this so much, because this is something that I also did when I started with my firm, and you helped me out with that. Thanks a ton. Just moving on to the next question. I'm in this particular copy and conversation. I'm putting it as question. The reason being because it's about the legal things, and let's have basic questions. Thanks, Ishani, for helping me in build these questions. This will help our listeners also who have lots of doubts in their mind and they're wondering how to go about it, where to go about. Ishani, the next thing would be how do you recommend startups go about finding the right legal or rather the professional services for their specific needs? And are there any particular factors that we should look at for this?
Yeah,
Ish-
when we talk about the right legal models, then
yeah.
we first have to make sure that how many partners we have in our firm, how many people that we need to start the things. So if you are the sole person who is managing all the things, then there are compliances which is beneficial for the one person. But if you are having a team with you, then there are different compliances. So it basically depends on the number of people. Also, it depends on your reason that you are living. Accordingly, like you have to make sure that are you in the professional field or in the product model or in an e-commerce model. So
Hmm.
the compliances will vary according to your business model as well. Are you looking for startup fundings? Are you like looking for collaborations? So this is
Hmm.
how the legal and the professional services vary. But when we talk about finding the right and like right legal and the professional services, so
Yeah.
we should make sure that the person is experienced enough and the ecosystem that you want your profession should be. For example, there are few lawyers who are very good with the taxation, the accounting things, but they are not well versed with the startup ecosystem. So they
Okay.
usually like they even can't handle clients who are very like passionate about their things because the startup owners used to call again and again to the legal professional for the small doubts. But the
Okay.
professionals who are very experienced and they have like a high attitude, they will just neglect the calls because they don't want their client to interfere in their work. So a lawyer, if or she is working with the startup ecosystem, then they should be like well versed with the startup owners mindset and they should know that they want a budget friendly service because the
Okay.
so the experience is the first thing. Second thing, the person should be well versed with the startup ecosystem. Third thing, it should be budget friendly. And the particular factors that one can consider is that person should be tech friendly as well. Because
Hmm.
when we have our startups in the tech arena, there are lawyers who can't understand IT things and all, and this they got confused about the policy making part because nowadays when there are so many startups in the software domain and the SaaS model, the
Yeah.
lawyers can't understand their policies and all that, like how to design a perfect policy out of this. These
So true. I mean, well said. Okay. See, actually, when you shared about these things, my next question was, in fact, how do we see the role of the legal and the professional services evolving in the startup? Because if you see, Ishani, quite a bit happening in the startup space. Bole to matlab entrepreneurship is in the air. Entrepreneurship has been there for several centuries, for that matter. But ये जो word जो है, in the last 10 years, the kind of a momentum it has gained thanks to the technology, thanks to the digital marketing, or thanks to the awareness that's being created, in the last 10 years. Earlier, people used to map na business banane wala hu. I'm going to start
exactly,
a
yeah,
business. It used to be business. A business could be, anything for that matter. But as the entrepreneurship, or rather the startup thing has come in, How do you see the role? Because legal and the professional services plays an important role, right? I mean, आइडियाज है, थॉट्स है, प्रोडक्ट्स है, सर्विसेज है, सब ये चीजें चलना है तो
Exactly.
है ना, लीगल थिंग. सो I mean, what do you anticipate any major changes or any trends, in this particular space?
Yeah. Like when we see about the legal and the professional services, so the professional services I list out, there are only two things that a startup need nowadays. That is your
Hmm.
legal compliances to be done and your tech compliances to be done because they just got stuck only in those two areas. Other things they manage themselves generally in the initial years. But these two things just provide them a headache that how I will go through these compliances and all. So when we see the role of these professionals, when we see the last 10 years thing, then we found that the legal professionals and the developers and all, they used to be very conservative and they generally don't talk to their clients directly. Either you have to take appointments, you have to just like wait for many weeks for your legal professional to get in touch with you. But then we start shifting towards the quick compliances where you can just 24-hour like have a conversation with your lawyer. You can just drop emails and get replies over the emails. The government is also shifting toward the online world, and so the lawyers and the legal professionals and the other tech professionals are. And in the upcoming years, we will see that the whole registration models of the government and all the compliances will be completely online. We can't even need the notarization to be done by the physical notary. We can get it done to the online models as the Supreme Court is also launching a website where the notarization can be done online. This is how it's in the government is also shifting towards the e model, and so the lawyers and the other professionals have to shift towards that model. They have to be like eco-friendly, like we can see that tech-friendly enough to have a complete model with the e system. So when we talk about the major changes, when the trends that will be coming, we will see that now a lawyer is not a service provider, neither they are providing these products because you are now not hiring a lawyer, you are just buying the products or the services. Because in the legal profession, the advertisement and all these things are banned. So the lawyers have shifted towards the business models and the startups, as you said it. Like, हम 10 साल पहले बोलते थे कि we are gonna start a business, but now we say that I have a startup. The startup just varies from the business in the model of scalability and the newness that we have in our models. So that newness can be done by the tech systems if we got embedded in our business models. That is something which we need only just the tech part that we need to incomplete in our old models.
Okay. I get that. I get that. To our listeners or the viewers, I wish to add over here that um, I mean, the points which Ishani shared are might look, basic or something. Yeah, we can do it. But with the very moment we put this or put these aspects in the back burner, or like we just put it, and then we rush to complete all the work, and in between, if there was a pause or something in our show, thanks to the technology, it was just playing a hide and seek with me, and Ishani was still sharing her points. We will be looking into this. Ishani, like, uh, uh, probably, I should, you might be wondering if I should ask this question, but still I would. In your opinion, what are some of the most important qualities to look for in a lawyer? Uh, or the professional when seeking, assistance as a startup owner.
It would be better if we choose a lawyer who has a startup like if one is running his own startup, because then only a person, वो एक होता है ना कि खुद तो वो इंसान वो चीज किया नहीं है and you he is just guiding you on that path. Because if you have
Mhm.
not gone through that model, if you have not done these things, then you can't guide anyone else out of. Because when I remember when I joined the IM Bangalore and when I joined AIC Banasthali for my startup incubation, then the mentor of ours is Professor Raj, who is a startup mentor, and he had his own startup in 1990. So he used to connect everything with his own story and can guide us better. Because if one does not know the how hardworking the startup owners are, they are working whole day. As you are so hardworking, when I just uh, call you or something out of it, you are so busy in your all stuff. So we can relate that startups are so busy in their stuff, and if a lawyer or it's a professional who don't know, like he's not well versed with their part, so he can't be able to guide you better in that way. Because like if I talk about few services, for example, the trademark services there.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
happens that people used to get afraid that their logo or something will get like infringed by others or something. But if somebody is using their name over a domain, for example, if Maya Katha is there and I had a domain on the www.mayakatha.com. So my name
yeah,
can't be infringed even if I had obtained the trademark over it, because the
correct.
name is already mine in the space of that domain. So these
Hmm.
are some hacks that only a startup lawyer is gonna guide you. Because what happens, a normal lawyer will say, just have this, he will show you a list of the compliances that have this compliances,
Yeah.
and just pay me money out. But startup
Mhm.
lawyers will tell you that these are the red flags. You just have
Yeah.
to be very choosy about the compliances that you really need, because otherwise you will be having compliances which will not benefit out to you. And also might have seen that there are few companies who are offering ASIC, EF and PF things to the startups who have a team strength
Mhm.
of only 1 to 2 people. Startups
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
need these kind of registrations. These registrations are needed by the companies having a strength of 20 plus people. So this is how
Yes.
these are the things. People don't know that they don't need this kind of service. They just got to buy it because the lawyer or the package is providing it in free or something tag like that. So these are the things like the qualities one need is the proper legal education first, and also the person is experienced enough with the ecosystem. And the second
Okay.
thing, as I said, the well-versed part. So person should not be with high attitude or something that you can't find yourself easy enough to go with.
Absolutely. I mean, so much I could relate to what you shared. So much. Um, like since you spoke about this, could you speak? Could you share the significance of trust within the context of legal and the professional services for startups?
As we first, like previously also said you, that a doctor
Yeah.
or lawyer से कुछ नहीं छुपाना चाहिए, because if you will hide anything from them, then it will be like you will be the one who will be at loss. So the
Yeah.
lawyer is the one, if वो गलती करेगा, then you will got into trouble, and if doctor गलती करेगा, then you will be also in so much trouble. So the thing is that
Yeah.
the trust is the major factor here, because the risk is not at life, because the life risk is there, and you can't go with a person who you don't know his nature was and something like that. Even it happens with me as well. When I started out things, I got contact a lawyer from Delhi to help me out of a compliance there because I was that time covering only the Haryana completely.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
lawyer hosted me. So what mindset I get at that time that he is a lawyer himself and he knows the value of the trust and he
Hmm.
hosted another lawyer. So these are the
Okay.
things that happens because when a startup they like वो पता नहीं कहाँ से तो they have their savings and they are paying to their lawyers. And when that
Yeah.
same lawyer, after getting paid, can host them, they can't provide them the service they promised. So the word have a value. I believe our words that we say to somebody have a value, and we should maintain the value of the words. So trust is a major factor for going ahead with any professional, and I can say.
Such a truth. I mean, word has value, and the value that we give is in our work, and that in turn builds the trust for that matter. Aptly said, Ishani. Now, with the rise of online legal and professional services, do you believe startup owners would feel comfortable seeking assistance even without that personal touch of a lawyer or a professional?
Yeah, I personally found that like as you are here and the startup players don't have time to get a physical visit to their lawyer. Lawyer will keep calling them in that case that please come in my office and get it signed and something like that. So
Yeah.
if we have it in an online phase, then the startup owner will be he will be the first who will say that इससे अच्छा I like कुछ नहीं हो सकता उसके लिए because he just get it done everything without my involvement. I'll just like provide the document, then do anything you want. Like just provide me this things, but I will not be available. I can't do that. So
Yeah.
I believe that the physical thing we can have it over Zoom even nowadays because nowadays the technology doesn't provide us like technology bridge all the gaps nowadays. So we have all technology with us. We can had a conversation with the lawyer. But yes, as we previously also said, that the trust is the major factor. And if we have trust, then the online part would be very easy and we could go with for the startups.
So true, so true. So much we can relate to the previous one and this what you shared. Now, with regards to integration of professional and tech services, what are your thoughts, Ishani, on the potential benefits for startups? And also, do you believe this combination will be advantageous? I mean, why do you think so?
Yeah, when one got incubated for his startup, then I usually saw, like, I also myself got incubated. So I saw that the mentors used to told you that get your website done, get your legal
Yeah,
registration done, get the
yeah,
content over your website, get your logo done, and all and all. They have a
yes.
small list, and these small lists, the person wants to be get done by only one agency. If there is, if, like, it's a dream come true if a single person can provide you all the things because you will be telling him all your headaches. Like, I got stuck in this part. I got like मेरा
I mean,
website
are you
render नहीं
talking
लग
my
रहा है.
story? Looks like you're talking,
No, no,
talking,
no.
talking my
Yeah,
story.
there like every startup I meet, they said I had a website, but there are no policies for the copyright things. For example, there are no
Yeah,
policies.
yeah, yeah.
The privacy policies are not there. So I have to run to my lawyer then to make me the policies and all these things. And then I have to run to my website developer that please post these policies like that. And then the website developer don't know that they have to make it in a click wrap agreement. That's the lawyer
Hmm.
thing. So the both persons got collide in themselves and they are just fighting and making like creating more headache for the startup owner because they
Uh,
both are not versed with the things and all. Because The tech
Mhm.
person is experienced and like is expert in his domain, and the legal person is experienced in like expert in his own domain. So they
Yeah.
can't like when it will be very headache for a startup lawyer uh, to just make the tech person understand that you have to make things like that. Otherwise, my client can get so like there will be very difficulties for a startup owner to manage all the agencies and all. अभी इसको फोन कर रहे हैं उसको पूछ रहे हैं भैया कहाँ तक काम हुआ अभी उसको पूछ रहे हैं फोन करके have you done with the work or not
Yeah.
and then the things can started delaying and that's why it shows effect on the revenue model as well. So I basically think that it will be like a deemed control, a single agency or a single system or a platform can provide you all the services that you need.
Nice to know that. I mean, that really helps because it's pretty normal and it's normal human tendency that, when we go to a place, we wish to get all the services at one place. I mean, we have seen our parents or we have seen, people earlier, how much of bhaga bhagi, how much they've been, running pillar to pole to get anything, a basic thing or even a complicated thing. I mean, let alone about the complicated legal aspects or the financial things for that matter. People given a choice, they would just pray that get me one person or get me one organization where I can get all my things done. So true, Ishani. I mean, I
Exactly.
can relate
Even
to this.
that is why the Amazon started. That is why the malls have started because you
Yeah,
can just buy everything out of it. Like imagine
true.
a Diwali day when you want crackers, sweets, clothes, toys for your child, and you have to go here and there, and in the Diwali rush, you will just got exhausted, and now you have Amazon, just click it, d- have everything at your home. These the
Yeah,
technology make things easy. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely, Ishani. Okay, let me add on to the next question relating to this now. I mean, how do you, or rather, do you believe that startups should prioritize finding a legal or professional provider whose specialization in that particular industry or maybe that particular sector? What are your thoughts on this?
The the first thing is that, as I already said it, if you want services with a particular business model, then,
Hmm.
for example, the e-commerce model is there. So your startup lawyer or the legal professional or any other tech professional should be well versed with that model itself. Because in the e-commerce model, if I say there are compliances like consumer compliances in India is also there, where the Consumer Protection Act has so many different compliances. So if
Yeah.
your lawyer is just versed with the documentation and all, but he don't know that there can be certain consumer litigation over his client, then he will not guide him accordingly and then his client will get into troubles like in future. So you're
Okay.
when you are prioritizing any service, then you should see that whether that person or his firm or his platform have the persons for different expertise, like different expertise person should be there. They should have expertise in litigation as well and the registration, tax compliances as well. They should have a tax person specifically. They should have a tech person specifically to guide all together
Mhm.
to one startup. Because when four different persons via one platform is guiding one person, then they will beautifully design a startup in my view, they will just guide him very beautifully because they will coincide in their they will firstly have a sync of their thoughts and they will then guide the startup on it accordingly. There will be no clashes in the professionals itself.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. I mean, it relates. I mean, I'm sure people who are listening to this will definitely relate to this. Also, one more thing that I wish to add over here that copy and conversation is a raw way of a connect. When I say a raw way of a connect, we are just in our own comfortable space and time. It so happens sometimes because of the technology or because of the internet connectivity, you might see, if our voice it might be, it sounds like it's shivering, or it might be sometimes like signal is lost. But travel along with us, because we wish to share the simple and the straightforward connect. And we are not getting much into the nicing and the slicing at this juncture. Okay. With that, Ishani, like, are there any particular industries or the types of startups that you think require more specialized legal or per se the professional services? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I found that the e-commerce websites nowadays are growing at a booming rate, and
Okay.
these e-commerce websites don't know, like they got confused whether they need GST or not because there is a like threshold level of 40 lakhs. So they usually
Yeah.
get confused that that level is just for a intrastate business, not for the interstate businesses. So these are the
Okay.
small things which can just uh, put it in so much trouble that they will be roaming then to the GST offices and all for the cases against them because these are something which have criminal penalties also because one can get into jail as well for these kinds of messes that they created. So I found that
Okay.
there are few provisions in the Consumer Protection Act itself. We have criminalizing provisions. So if somebody is in a product business, then also it can be very difficult for them to manage their unhappy customers. Or if you are in a food business and you don't get your FSSI license done, and if there is any raid in your office or in your home-based business, then you
Hmm.
can get penalties in lakhs. So
Okay.
startups
Okay.
can't afford these kinds of penalties because the registration is just of 2000 rupees, but the penalty is of 10 lakh rupees. So
Okay.
these are the things which they need guidance on. And there are few startups nowadays who are running in Bitcoin thing and the technology law,
Yes.
where they are exchanging the services from the companies outside India. So they need FEMA regulations and all. But like it will the compliances and the things will vary according to the person to person and their needs. But still, if there are criminalizing provisions, so you have to
Okay.
be more careful about them because otherwise you will be in so much trouble. Even your family will not, even your family will leave you. That why you started out these things. You put us in so
Yeah.
much trouble and all, and even they will not help you out.
Oh my God. Yeah. Thank you so much for putting those thoughts over here. Let me ask you the next thing. Like, be it a sole proprietor or one person company or private limited or the LLP model. What are the basic things each of? I mean, all these have to look into when they are running their company with regards to the legal. What is the first thing they have to do? Then what? I mean, probably you can just give those headlines. That will be really helpful for the listeners.
Yeah, about the posting part, I believe that first thing, which I just want to add on all the discussions, that a person
Sure.
should not hire any professional who is not disclosing the complete fee and have a hidden fee in every other service they are providing. Because that will be very difficult for the startup owners to arrange the money for the services. And if there are hidden fee and all these things, then the startup owner will be like they can't manage the stuffs like that. One should be very clear in their words that this is the model, this is the promises that we are making, so that the another
Hmm.
person should not get into shock in future that oh my God, how I will manage all the stuff now. Like, why don't you told me that earlier? There should be there should not be things like that. One should be very clear in his terms and all these things. That this is the things that I'm going to provide you in a website. For example, for a developer, because I saw so many clients of mine even who told me that the person has promised me to deliver this kind of product or this kind of service, but the service is just awful. So we can't go ahead with it, and we have to hire another person now. So that hiring process, that time wasted, that money wasted is there. So one should
Okay.
be like always have a clear terms with everybody they are having business. And about the things that, as you asked for the tips for
Yes.
the startup owners. So never rush for the legal compliances very early. Start making a revenue, have a clear revenue model to have. Consult somebody who can guide you on your revenue model and started out things with minimum or the like bare minimum compliances like Udyam is there, GST is there. They are the minimum bare minimum compliances in India. And then shift towards the complex models and have written like have everything in written while collaboration. What
Okay.
happens?
Yeah.
I told you a story of like a small story is there of a tech startup I served. They had a
Okay.
patent technology and there are two founders, like, and the second founder got away with the technology and made a new team. And the first
Okay.
person who like helped the second person to get the technology done and all, he is at lost, complete loss, and he has devoted his so much time and efforts and money in developing the technology, and he can't do anything because
Okay.
the person who cheated him is his own co-founder.
Okay.
So
Oh,
things like that happen. So you have a collaboration with your like have an agreement between your co-founder as well. The founders
true.
should have agreement between themselves as well because you never know that when your teammate even will cheat you in future. Have every small things in written, like exchange mails to the clients that you are serving, or
Mm.
maintain your invoicing, like your all bills and all, or an invoicing app or something like that. Because when you have to show your revenue, like your traction report to somebody else in the future for any startup pitch competition, then you have a clear dashboard to show them. So these are the things that the startup, these are the small things that doesn't take much time of the startup owners. So they can just enroll any of the free invoicing apps. They can exchange emails completely,
Mm.
verbal
Okay.
agreements with anybody in this business world, and always exchange like things in written format and always be clear in your terms and conditions and always ask the person who you are hiring that what are the terms and conditions, what are the clear things that you are going to provide. Because
Hmm.
and also for the tech part, I advise go ahead with the WordPress models, not go ahead with the coding and all these things. If you
Okay.
are not in the tech startup, if you are in a product-based or service-based startup, then only because that will be very eco-friendly for you to like go with. Because what happens is startups used to burn so much money in the very initial years of them, and then they get no revenue out of it. So the thing is
Yeah.
that uh, as the Ashni Grover said from the startup Shark Tank India, that अगर
Yeah.
धंधा है तो profitable होना चाहिए. That is the easiest math of the fifth class. So one should always focus towards the profit and always cut short the compliances, and then step by step grab everything because
Yeah.
slow and
Yeah.
steady
Yeah.
wins the race. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, आपने सही सही बोला. See, we are in a rush, as you mentioned, एक तो product बनाना, नहीं तो services बनाना, then उसको revenue model उसका बनाना, and then make it profitable, and then run the show, pay the employees, pay your, for your own expenses. इतने सारे चीजें हैं. It is important that we have clarity, we have trust, and the word of belief in whatever work we are doing or whatever we are offering for that matter. And thanks bunch, Ishani. I mean, such a lovely connect, and I really, I can't believe that almost 50 minutes we've been talking about such a important or a basic thing that many of us, despite knowing, लेकिन हम सोचते हैं ना ठीक है बाद में कर लेंगे, नहीं तो ठीक है छोड़ो अभी नहीं. Let me
Yeah,
only come
exactly.
about.
uh, Even as you said that बाद में कर लेंगे वाली चीज सबसे ज्यादा एक लॉस्ट पे जाती है बाद में, because
Yeah.
what we think that our teammate है वो नहीं cheat करेगा, we just have our in mindset and we just go away with that small agreement of 1 or 2 page. You can just write it by yours that you will not breach this condition, you will not make any other
Yes.
team except me. So these are the small things which you can do just at the moment.
I mean, absolutely, absolutely, Shani. I mean, such an important thing. Um, Trust is, trust is in our relationship, trust is in the words, and trust is in what we do. And हम इतना इतना passionate हो जाते हैं अपने work, अपने product और services में, we kind of miss that, there are basic legal things that we should look into. There are basic terms and conditions that we need to have in place from day one. There are basic things that we need to follow every day, like we breathe in and breathe out, है ना? So thanks a bunch, Ishani, for joining
Exactly.
in.
Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Meera. Thanks a lot.
you're welcome. But I'm not going to leave you. One advice or suggestion that you would want to give startup owner who are looking to hire a lawyer or a professional for the first time.
Yeah, even I think we should leave it on our vibes as well. Sometimes we got very good vibes with a person and like वो gut feeling आती है कि yeah, this is the right person. So sometimes we should go with that gut feeling as well. But yes, experience matters in the legal profession, and also what matters is the attitude of that person about dealing the things. Because if that person is very, like, he has a lot of attitude to show and he is very high-hearted person, not easy to go with, then one should refrain from that kind of person, because uh, for him, he matters a lot, like, not you.
Yeah, yeah,
But for the
yeah.
startup lawyers, their startups matters more than they themselves, because उनको लगता है ये startup डूबना नहीं चाहिए. Like, even I can manage the things, I can even had a conversation in late at night or something. But that client of me who is a startup owner and is very hardworking needs me, like, to be there to help him out about the stuff. Like, because startup owners को overthinking I believe बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. And they just overthink about the small thing, and then they need somebody to just help them out, just clear all the overthinking thoughts that they have.
Absolutely. I mean, so much. I mean, I can vouch for this, Ishani, and to the listeners over here. What Ishani shared about being available, to think about startup, to think about that person, that it is not only him and also his company that he's running, and how much of effort he or she has been putting, because she knows, she has been seeing how I've been working, and I have silly doubts, and I just send her a message, or sometimes she says, Mira, this is really something which we need to finish fast. And that push from her, especially if I have to say today, I'm taking this opportunity, Shani, that push will make us realize that हम कभी कभी अपने passionate work, अपने work में इतना passionate हो जाते हैं, इतना डूब जाते हैं कि अपने काम में, कि हम भूल जाते हैं कि there are few things, compliances का there are few things, ये ऐसे सारी चीजें हैं जो we have to address first. be it terms and condition, be it the legal aspects, or be it the GST, be it that, this, or whatever. It has to go hand in hand. And thank you, Ishani, for that.
Thanks a lot, Mira. Thanks a lot. Even
Thank,
what I believe that your startup lawyer should be prompt enough to remind you of the things as well. Because वो lawyer
absolutely.
वाला attitude आ गया कि यार मैं क्यों remind कराऊं, she will come to me for the things and all. Then the startup ecosystem doesn't work like that because the lawyers do have a like attitude in themselves, but the owners, they seriously are so busy that they forgot about the thing. They forgot about the ROC compliances, like they which are time bound and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so true, Ishani. Thanks for being there, and thanks for, I know how much of work you have been running on. It is just not with Meera from Maya Katha. Ishani is interacting with several more people, and I can definitely say that people will be receiving WhatsApp message at least every day asking what is it going on. Have you done this? This is pending. When can we finish it? Can we connect on a call? Uh, this is a push we all need. And thank you, Ishani, for coming over and sparing your space and time. And most importantly, that knowledge that you have shared today. Yes, to the listeners, Ishani Goyal, she is the founder of Legal Thirst. And I have been interacting with her for a couple of months, who's been helping me out with a couple of works with regards to the legal aspects, or related to my company's, compliance or statutory aspects. So, with that, in this Kapi and conversation, I would say Tata and thank you and signing off. As always, thank you for being here, stopping by, listening to, and accepting us and our audio or the video the way it is. We don't do much of a slicing and the nicing and the dicing for that matter. We keep it intact. If in case somewhere when you were listening to in this show or in the previous show or in the forthcoming show, if you find that there are few seconds it paused for a while, just take that. Now there was some ad break. Just imagine that and keep connected with us listening to our show. Thank you, Ishani, and thank you to all of you. This is Meera from Kapi and Conversation. See you in the next episode.
Thanks a lot, Mira.
You're welcome.